Grande, brothers and sisters, welcome to another video. And as I normally do, thank you for joining me today. And of course, we're here to always talk about edifying in the spirit. Now, as of what I was doing previous to this, of course, it's not really any of your businesses, but I was definitely freestyling, singing and rapping a little bit. For those that do know, hi. For those that don't know, hi. All right. Um, Yeah, and today is a good day as our creator has made, as always. And I want to go over something very important, but of course, if you'd like to grab your biblioteca, your buy and bow, that would be quite handy if you would like. It would be also quite handy if you would not like. Okay, so either way, pick one or not. It's we're here, we're still gonna go over them regardless. And yes, so we're gonna be in the Chronicles of Saint Matthew's, and what we're gonna go over today is in chapter 13. My apologies about that. And why chapter 13? Well, the subject is gonna be about basically let's just say that haters will hate your light because evil wants you returning to a wicked cycle. So haters will hate your light because evil wants you to return to an evil what cycle, to a wicked cycle. And why is that important that we know the contradiction not of the word but more so of the behaviors is to basically be able to see the difference of the back then and the now. That term that history repeats itself if there's no change. It's a real thing. But of course, it happens through the not visible aspect. It just manifests physically, right? And it just takes different forms. Mind you, a lot of these aspects are of the same coin. Doesn't matter if it's heads or tails, the same coin. So when we don't know those things, it takes over us. So we're gonna be in whoa, I did not write the verse for the contradiction for the first one, but the second one I did. So let's go start with the first one, which I believe it's the early verses. I wrote the verses, but I didn't write the number for them. But it doesn't matter. We're just gonna read it anyways, as we normally do. Like I give you contradiction and I give you inspiration. So the first one in the subject says, when you have no shelter, all enemies know how to attack you. Doesn't matter if it's physically or spiritually. There is something called psychology, and when somebody understands the psychology, the concept of your behaviors and your actions, on normal terms, they should have the advantage. But because you're not going off by normal physical terms, and this is all spiritual. Their normalities is just nothing but a practice of concepts, which is only applied to a limited amount of things that can be perceived and understood. Everything else, not so much. So what does it say? There he spoke many parables, and this is Christ. There he spoke many parables and gave similar terminology, stating that he is the sower that came to sow, and he is some of the seeds fell off track, and they were devoured by the fowls, creatures of the land, sea, and the air. So Christ is the sower. So when it comes to us telling people about the truth of Christ, the the goal and spell, right? We always have to remind ourselves that a lot of people, like the devils and the Satans, right? They know to buy and bow themselves much more than a lot of people in this world. Remember, just you think that a lot of them are going to allow people to translate these words of truth without knowing what it is, without having their hand in what's going on a political level, religious level? No, they're going to. And that's what people are forgetting. People forget that, yes, although it's unfair how things is, but our creator is fair. He gave us the opportunity to still know the truth. That's the reason why there's so many aspects of the truth. But there's only one truth. And we seem to not realize that that's the reason why there's so many denominations, different religions that are still based in the same story but just different names. Remember that the devils want to be like our creator, so of course he's going to have his religions, his many different religions, because a lot of those fallens and nephilims, halfwits, they want power, they want acknowledgement, they want influence. That's where the ego comes from. All of this proudness, okay, these animalistic instincts, where things come from on these aspects. But let's continue though. Well, matter of fact, let me say that statement in a different way as well. um when your faith also, because I need, well, let me not say it in a different way, let me add on to it. When your faith is not rooted in the right place, it can easily fall aside. Anybody can say anything to you. Oh, really? I did not know that. Oh, yeah, no. See, your personal journey with Christ is supposed to be personal. So when you learn something, it's for the glory of your creator, not for yourself alone. And that's what a lot of people are forgetting. They're missing that. They're missing that element of it's personal. So when a lot of people are talking about Christ, they're yelling, they're forcing. It's not our job to convict. It's our job to teach and inspire and to give example and testimonies. But when we are too busy trying to tell people that we're right, rather than just letting them understand that in our perspective we're right because this and that says so in our, lifestyle. They say, oh no, this is what the word says. You can't speak the word to an atheist that might know the word or might not know the word, because they're not going to base that ideal of the word. It's not you. So when the Holy Spirit, right, speak through you, that's when that's actually acceptable. But when you do it out of your own volition, you don't even realize that you're yelling at somebody. A lot of times when people have these religious battles and beefs, they don't even see that they're arguing amongst each other. And some of them, they don't realize that arguing never gets the job done, regardless. Because we could talk about something that we don't like forever, but what are we really not? What are we? Is there been any change to us liking something or not? No. The reason why it keeps going is because nobody is knowing the roots of why it keeps, like, every time when people get together, they can't seem to shut their mouth and then just agree on something or disagree on something. They always have an opinion. Stop talking. Just stop it. Stop arguing. If you don't like something that somebody says, either accept it or walk away. You don't always have to give your opinion on everything. I have people telling me mind my business, but then they're the ones watching me. I don't understand that. Like, that has to make sense. Like, how you watching me and I gotta mind my business? Give me one moment, please. In life, it gets a little bit frustrating when people don't know exactly what is what. You can't tell some. It's like saying this is mine, and you can't eat this, which is mine, whatever that it is, a piece of carrot cake or whatever the case is, strawberry, chocolate. I don't know, right? I could care less. And somebody said that mind your business, but it's yours. Like, how am I going to mind my business or something that's mine? You're around, you're watching me. I'm just saying, like, we have to make that makes a little bit of sense, right? Because, like, wait a minute, like, how are we doing? How are we going to do that? You can't reverse the card. You can't reverse the Uno card because literally that's exactly what's happening in the first place. It's like saying you playing Uno with me, and then I use the Uno reverse card, and you say that it's your turn. Like it doesn't work that way. If it's just me and you playing, and you think that you're gonna go on my turn, I'm gonna hit you with another Uno reverse. I might just skip you because why not? You see how what I just said did not really correlate too much, but then it's like, how are you gonna tell me that it's your turn, but it's not? The fact that I'm trying to use an Uno reference and it's not doing too much of a job, but it's just like in the sense where when people are trying to say something crucial to you and it just doesn't work, Uno, reverse. You can't use a statement that you're literally contradicting yourself with. It just doesn't make sense. Because I'm the type of person, I don't have to tell you you're contradicting yourself, but I will, in fact, you know, give you a sign that you're contradicting yourself. And this is where people get upset. It's because they cannot handle that. They like telling me things, but they don't take criticism themselves. They don't. They don't like it. But let's move on to the next verse. The subject for that is without the proper guidance, you'd fall off and die from anything. Well, that's true. And it says, and that's the subject, by the way, again. And it says here, for a few of those seeds were reinstilled as they sprung from rough terrains with less to support their growth and made it through. Rough terrains, yeah, a tough cookie of a flower until a strong enough wind come by and that flower, whee, just off on the curve or somewhere in the in the land of the wizards of the Odd or whatever they call it, of Oz, whatever they say it, just flying off into Neverland. But because they were not rooted properly, they died when they were exposed to sunlight, and so they withered away. Mm. Now, for those that were properly growing in the right terrains and had all the nutrients required for their growth, grew 100 folds when I had led them. This is with a parentheses. When I led them to their promised land for generations to come. So whoever that has ears, listen. I don't think that needs to be explained. So we're gonna move to the next verse. Logically, I hope that like I was speaking of these examples earlier, that you follow the wrong teachings is gonna lead you blindly into your doom. And that's what a lot of these people are doing. Oh, we're no different. Woo, 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 woo. I think we did a good job convincing him we are Christians. No, you're not. The person that you're making a record with, if my laptop detested your music, trust and believe. Let me say that one more time. I made a video about this like 30 videos ago. If my laptop detested your lyrics, that's not just your lyrics alone, it's you and the spirit that's possessing you. Because if my spirit, well, I say my spirit, but if the influence of my creator is working on a laptop and my laptop works perfectly fine and it was working perfectly fine and I'm listening to gospel music and then it starts to act up when I put your music on, something not right. Something not right. And the volume is not at 100%. It's like at 60, 50%. So imagine when I had music on 100% and nothing was still reacting the way that it was. I should have recorded it actually. That way, when I posted this video, it would have been like, oh, people would have known the name. I don't know how to speak this person's name. I believe it's Franklin. I'm not sure. Mr. Franklin. Yeah, Mr. Franklin. I'm not sure, but out of respect, but it's just the truth. My laptop reacted to your music not in a good way at all. At all. The same way when I was making these videos and I was speaking the truth, my first device, the audio, when it comes to me just talking about positive stuff and not that shaking booty stuff, all of this narcissistic, videos and all of no, my devices, like they act up. Before they used to act up way more. Now they act up just however, and it's like I only have but one. Well, not really. I have more than one device. It's just I don't feel like using all of them at the same time. Like for example, I have this mic that I wanted to record my music on, but then I have to get a whole amp adapter to plug onto my desktop. Which eventually I'm gonna have to find because I have to find the right size. And if I don't find the right size, it's gonna be boo boo for me. But enough about that though. Like I said, this generational music and all of this hip hop music stuff, it's not the way for it. Like if you make the lyrics, you have to say the name. You have to say the name. And not only you have to say the name, like it has to make sense where I made a rap, I made a whole hip hop rap type of lyric. I wrote it down not too long ago. I might actually upload that video maybe after this video, probably like later on today, where yeah, I want you guys to listen to it. You can hear the lyrics and what the purpose of my actual lyrics. And no, I don't have to put people's name and involved in it, but it relevates to a lot of people, and it's just something that personally I feel like people can relate to. And that's what I write about. I don't like making music where like it's just booty shaking or it's just about me. No, everything that I write about is relatable to people. Like I can literally where have I put it at? I'll read you guys some of the lyrics after. I'm gonna first what I'm gonna do is I'm going to first let's get finished with this and I'm gonna read you guys the lyrics later. So the next verse is 14, I believe, through 17. So let's get this one started. All right. The first subject is acceptance is key, and this is still contradiction, by the way. Um, but many still are confused, thus being the prophecy by Isaiah, as he said, "Those that can hear don't listen, so they will never gain understanding." For their hearts are stiff like wax, and they are attracted to delusions by sight or of words. All of this sexualizing stuff, this yeah, you can be sexy and all of this extra stuff. The moment you accept any of those attributes of these delusions, you become a part of it. It's like if two of the same sex invite you to a wedding, right? And you're cool with these people. Are you going to go to the wedding? Because if you go to the wedding, that means you accept the wedding. Or are you going to chill out and then just stay at home? You can still show support as the people in general by showing them love regardless. But are you going to go to the wedding? Because going to the wedding is basically going against your own moral conduct. I'm just saying, it's harsh, but it's not though, right? Because at the end of the day, you can't be a half Christian. You can't be a Hindu Christian, a Buddha Christian. I don't know what people are doing nowadays, but all of this identity entitlement stuff. Stop it. Don't bring that around me. People are telling me, that's just who you are. You can be who you are. I'm not saying don't be who you are. Be who you are, because Christ even wants you to be who you are. Because if he didn't want you to be who you are, he wouldn't tell you to come as yourself. What is he gonna? What is he? Who is he gonna save? Your alter ego or your true genuine self? You know what I mean? But let's continue. The next verse subject is man's ideal is sabotage, and it states they go off by their own logic instead of being open with their hearts so that I can heal them and restore them. Exactly. So we're preaching to people, telling them all of these, of course, good things that they should as far as, reaching within the word. But they're using claims to finesse people, and a lot of people that I've encountered have said they ran away from Christianity because why? People are forcing their own understanding of their beliefs to them rather than just sharing the good news to them. Maybe you never know. Forcing somebody, like forcing someone, you can probably do that if you know them personally, but a stranger, it's never really a good idea. Because not only is it not a good idea, now they're gonna look at you like how women look at men that treat them a lot. Well, I said men, women. How a lot of toxic women look at some men now. A lot of men nowadays, where if one of their ex-boyfriends did them wrong, they treat every man the same way. Yes, people will be like, oh, that's being uh, 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 condescending. No, it's not. It's being realistic because at the end of the day, a lot of people go through trauma and all of these extra stuff that they shouldn't go through. But at the same time, you're telling me if you went through something, you've been through toxic problems, you're gonna be toxic to somebody because you've been through that toxic problems because you were not able to heal. That sounds very selfish and stupid. Because that means then you want to be happy. You say you want to be happy. You tell your friends you want to be happy, but then you don't show any signs of happiness when you're around this person that's supposedly supposed to make you happy. Just don't make no sense. And this is not me judging. This is people's ideals when they pick and choose. So, like I said, that's their choice. I speak the truth. So once I speak the truth, just as the truth is, you can't call yourself Christian and doing all of this extra stuff. You are a sinner just like you and I, just like I. I'm no better than anybody, and that's the reason why. And I will tell you guys, attacks is not about how people want to physically harm you. It's also manipulation. They want you to get an ego, so when they get a chance to try to get to you, oh, he think that he's safe. No, we were able to finesse him. I don't like being finessed. I don't like when people try to hide something. It's like I don't like when people have a hand open forward and a hand behind their back. I don't know what's behind their back. It could be a knife. I can go in for a hug and they're gonna just stab me in the back. Let's read on to the next verse. And the subject for that says, "Your acceptance is truth, is true." And it says, so favor unto you in your perception, for you are wise, for many prophets desire to see all that you have, but were denied, let alone hear what you have without knowing. Mm. So you are favored. You're given the option to be able to make the choices and be given the option to pick the choices and be led in the options of those choices that you make. So even the bad as well. That's why you have to be wise. Because if you're not wise and you're not discerning, they will literally interrogate your life, then tell you that you gotta mind your business, and then tell you that when you literally don't even think about all of them, right? You just minding your business and they're all watching you and they're telling you to mind your business, which is a good thing because you get to set an example of what you actually are about. You're about your father's business, and that's what is the main purpose. And everybody forget that. A lot of people, when they get that type of attention, they immediately they immediately fall because they forgot exactly why they were put in that situation to do that in the first place. And it wasn't to fall, it was to rise and to glorify our Creator's name in truth and light and love and everything else that comes with it that is good. But let's get into inspiration. All right, and of course, I don't have the digits for the verse right here, but we're gonna still make wave with it. My apologies. Pardon me. Now we're gonna read the subject, and what does it say? Where you all go to seek truth must already be truthful. And it says what? So Christ said to them, it is I that sow the good seeds in mankind's heart. The field is the body, and the good seeds can be seen in the kins of our Elohim. Kin is offspring. Now those with none will reap none, for the devils are those that sow them, and know that the angels will show themselves when the end is coming, and they will collect all that's righteous. Unlike those that are prepared, they will be destroyed. Unlike those that aren't prepared, my apologies, they will be destroyed. So will it be of this world as Eli's elected kin. Oh, my apologies. So unlike those that aren't prepared, they will be destroyed, and so will it be of this world. As Eli's elected kin, he will send out his angels forth and wipe out all doers of sin and wickedness. My apologies. So we can have all of these aspects of not wanting to understand. My apologies. Not wanting to understand what's good and what is bad. Okay? But it's like you're getting picked off because we already know what's coming for us. We just don't know when. And that's the beauty of it. You're going to be shown the end result of you making it to your destiny. So when along the way, you're just going to be getting flashes, these deja vus, showing visions and all of these things. Take that serious. Some of them don't take it serious. I'm not going to say that. All of them take them serious. You just never know. I get dreams and I can tell exactly what my dreams is about. But I don't worry about my dreams because why? I'm protected. So I worry about the things that I need to worry about, and that's it. So now let's read another inspiration. And of course, this one doesn't have any digits also. It's just a verse. So we're gonna just get to the subject and move this a little bit along. And it says, and as far as the subject, it says, honor is key to your growth when you have faith in Yahuwah. And the verse in the text says, so Christ said to them, a prophet cannot be without integrity and honor, especially where he's from and in his own house. So respect and honor, integrity, loyalty, discipline, all of these words. So a lot of us don't even show respect to the people we care about, loyalty to the people we care about, love to the people we care about. It makes it quite hard when a lot of people try their best to just not show that back. It's hard. Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, astrologically, however you want to take that. Right? But integrity matters a lot. Integrity And respect matters a lot. And this is not about, oh, you gotta show an example on someone. No, it's just what it's like. For example, what you don't want to do to other people, you don't do to them. What has been done to you negatively, you don't do to other people. Simple. My eye. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. It's been real loving from you guys. And of course, I'm not gonna try to make this video any longer for real, but I will get into the lyrics real quick. I hope that the words that I have spoken of is very understood, because like I said, we have to be very vigilant as of the now, because everything is being accepted and there's nobody that can say no, because if you do, you will be considered a bigot amongst many people, and they're gonna laugh at you. And remember, Revelation is told to us that what? Around those times, people will be given the spirit of ignorance. So they're going to have to listen to the 666, these brainless aspects of living. But enough of that, right? Because I give you guys inspiration as well. Let's get into the word a little bit when it comes to these lyrics, because I'm going to make it fast. I'm going to read this to you guys so that you don't get the misconception. Um, don't mind my voice right now when it comes to this. I just want you guys to understand what it means to me. All right. It says, are we really free? Are we really not? To really see all of our angels falling out the sky. It's just the melodies harmonizing all in our minds. We can't be walking now with sticks acting like we are blind. To see all of these little kids and the innocence never been sure what is truth and what is common sense. They take it to account, exploding to the mispresumption. If not already, if not truth, then what is not importance? I say conclude your method. If it be you, don't pick the life that you ain't never wanted. Either pleasure or lust from the ploys of those compensated. And Napa brought from the sea, knowing things are complicated, but drowning in acid, but seeing what's intoxication. The feeling numb, leaving your counterpoint put to the victim. Not for the shame or neither blame to feel the greater flames, just to see all the boiling points to not to misconfigure. That you've been through a lot, can imagine they ain't got the picture. And you disturbance in your shadow, never feeling light, with just a flash or moving fast, you couldn't reach the center. I know it's sad to pull on triggers, so please stay on cool. So to be like freezing when they playing tag, avoiding fools. With all you have the potential of really making moves. That is the motive of what I consider all truths. That is the influence of treasure, cause they jaws loose. From their democracy talking like you ain't star jewels, and congregating amongst them to crucify you, so you know you better and know it, you are the better you. So don't take offense to the pain, cause it's the learning. So praying on just what you need, you gotta be keen to all of their logic. They're making advance, the idolized goal, that's a morning topic. Might as well in making forward, they're getting too close, how to do is just magic. Changing their alchemic ways of modern conversion, making statements on headlines, narrating past castings. Cause most of the actors, they've been gone for a minute, just like shells in the beach, nothing deep within and reach in. That's a cycle of their lives with pretending like cosplay, make a foundation from the air and televise their own ways. If not by Christ, then what is life? You can't just live as puppets, just to express diversions to over all of the countries. And mine our kids to the degree even those from the counties seeing corruptions evidence in them, all in the major cities. If this I said, if it's by chance that we can dance with the fire and the living, considering the cost of life exchange for what is freedom, knocking on Babylon's door, open only to the prism, enslaving all our minds from the pigments to colorism, bringing division in the sanctum of what is our temple. So show the love you never got and always stay humble, cause in your trials you're gonna be up, sometimes you're gonna fumble. That is the truth, so stay alive, cause we up in this jungle. And that's all I'm gonna give you guys for now, because the next part is gonna be a chorus, and then another one is gonna end up being eventually another transition to the bars. But yeah, I hope that and of course the title of this is Yours Like Mine's. And I'm saying, and the reason why I say this is a specific word for it, is not a double entendre, but this is simile to certain of the some of these words or phrases where they sound a certain way, but they're not exactly what is said. Like yours, like mine's, like mine's, like mines. Because some people might be like, oh, your accent is a little bit thick, you Baltimorean. But no, it's not that. It's just that these lyrics means a lot to me because I can always explain the lyrics, but I don't think I really need to because there are parts like an apple brought from the seed, knowing things are complicated, but drowning in acid, but seeing what's intoxication. An apple is always going to be fructuous, it's always going to be fresh, but when it's exposed to the rotten things of the world, it becomes intoxication. It becomes acidic. It becomes sour. It becomes everything but good and sweet. You know, the same way on his previous statement, it says either pleasure or lust from the ploys of those compensated. A lot of people are getting paid to do exactly the harm that they're doing, either if they know it or not. And a lot of it comes from pleasure and a lot of it comes from lust. And pleasure and lust is one and the same, but pleasure is more so something that you like, and lust is something that you desire, right? And the feeling numb your part, counter, the feeling numb, leaving your counterpart, point to the victim is like, all of this is a lot. Sometimes it can be overbearing. Sometimes it broke you in a sense where, you know, a lot of people that are going through this points to you because you are a victim. You've been a victim. And it's like, we're born in a world that we don't really accept, or at least we don't know. And then we're taught the conditions to accept exactly their terms, and it's like we don't even know what is real and what is not. And so the next verse, it says, because of what, not for because of how people expectations are when it comes to these materialistics wants and needs and desires. I said, not for the shame or neither blame to feel the greater flames. And all three of them works in the same way. When and over here in Baltimore, when somebody's flaming you, that means they're getting on you. They're talking smack of you, and they sometimes they blame you, sometimes they shame you, which is basically the word for it. And then we can talk about the just boiling points and not to misconfigure. That's basically saying that there's an open spot in your shield. There's a crack in your shield in a sense, and you've been through a lot. They didn't really get the picture, so it's like they don't see that they're hurting you. Okay. And then I said a new disturbance in your shadow, never feeling light. So like, when you're going through that shadow, that terrible problem, any type of light that comes around you, it starts to push you away because you're not used to things being out in the open. You're not used to being shown love the way you're supposed to, right? And it sometimes can be heavy. That's why I use the word light, because in that sense, it still can be used as weight as well, right? And I said, well, just a flash or moving fast, you couldn't reach the center. So all of this stuff happened really quick. It could have been when you were a kid, it could have been now, it could have been, not too long ago. So all of these things happen and you just couldn't pull yourself together. You couldn't stand in a place where sanity can be logical in the sense of you being able to hold on to yourself. Then we have the part where it says, I know it's sad they put on triggers, so please stay on cool. So they use every tactic to basically try to get over you and try to frustrate you, to try to trigger you. So like you keeping yourself together. So I said, so to be like Freezer when they playing tag, avoiding fools. So you basically being like Freezer, right? You're keeping yourself cool and calm and collected. So when they play their game and they basically get you involved, you avoid them. You know how to maneuver around them. So I said in the next statement is so I said in the next statement, and I said, with all you have the potential of really making moves, that is the motive of what I consider all truths. That don't really have to be explained too much, but you have the potential of basically doing all of these things by avoiding them, though they already did this to you before. And I consider the truth because we all go through it, some worse than others, some less than others, some consistently, some every day, some right now, some in the future, some in the past. A lot of people go through this, and this is a very common thing. And then the next verse says, "That is the influence of treasure, because they jaws loose." And greed. They don't know what a real gem is. Greed is what got them, because they don't expect you to be the better you, right? So the next verse says, "From their democracy, talking like you in Star Jews." So they come around each other. They make these laws, they bylaws and all of this stuff to basically, and like the next verse says, to congregate amongst you to crucify you. Congregate amongst them to crucify you, because you are a jewel, you are a gem, you're valued, you're important. They don't know how to handle that. So, and then I said, so know you better, and know you are the better you. Every day when you see all of these challenges, these adversaries, right? You are always being better than what they expected. That's why these jaws are loose. And also it signifies something else, but we're not going to get into that. So I said, so don't take offense just to the pain, because it's just alluring. So like when you don't know fire burns, you don't, you're like a kid. So you won't know until you've been through that situation, right? But then if somebody tells you already fire burns, and you know fire burns, but you don't know exactly how much it burns. Some people, they have to learn. Some people, they don't have to, but some people like to learn the hard way, right? Then I said, so pray on just what you need. So take what you can get. So what if you're given even the least, even if it be something that might be temporary right now, and it's doesn't seem like it benefits you when it comes to like living in life. And if you're homeless, if you're poor, if you're not poor, whatever the case is, right? You have what you need, because Yahuwah is going to provide it for you regardless. And then I said, you got to be keen to all of their logic. Like Christ said, think like the snakes, but don't be of them. Don't partake in their actions. So know exactly their functions, their concepts. Okay. So the next verse is, they making bands. They idolize gold. And then that's a morning topic. That's another one that I was talking about when I was saying it's one word, it's one phrase, but then it sounds different, where like it also sounds like a demonic topic. So anything that somebody idolize is demonic, is evil, because it's idolatry, right? um then the next verse says, might as well make them fold. So let them like you, let them like you. That's basically what that means. Might as well make them fold, let them like you. They getting too close, because all they do is magic. Let them like you. They're getting too close anyways. You see their magic coming in, but it doesn't affect you because of what they're doing. Because you're better than what they know. Because you're on cool, you're on calm, you're collective. You're calm and collective. You see their moves before it happens. They're playing chess. You playing checkers and chess. You playing Monopoly. You playing every game on the board that they don't even know. A game that they ain't never heard before. The next verse says, changing the alchemic ways of modern conversion, making statements on headlines, narrating Pan's casting. Pan is the worship of nature, it's the worship of anything that is, you know, an inanimate object that's not living or living at the same time. And a lot of people don't know that. When pantheism is, the gratitude of giving thanks to nature, worshiping nature as well, in a sense, right? And they're literally casting these things on. You're gonna hear why I use the word casting as well. And like I said, converting alchemic modern. I said changing the alchemic ways of modern conversion. Everything we use in this world is alchemy, so they found ways to convert this alchemy in a useful way for us to not really understand, because through these devices they use it to cast, the practice of pan. Okay. And I said, because most of actors, they've been gone for a minute, and a lot of people that have been involved in these practicings of witchery, they're not really themselves no more, right? Just like shells in the beach, nothing deep within the reach in. So the water come and wash them off the surface because they haven't been planted. So when you see the shells on the beach, you don't see no snails in there, you don't see no slugs in there, whatever the case is. You don't see nothing. It's always empty because they've been washed away. Not in the sense of good. They've been washed away, like they've been taken away by the trend, by the wave of the negativity that's been coming on the actual land, that's been coming on a place that is bountiful. So they left. Then I said, well, that's a cycle of their lives. We're pretending like cosplay. Now the shells are on the beach. You would think because you see the shells on the beach and everything looks beautiful that there's something in there that's alive. So from a far distance on what is being casted and what's being projected, you can't see no other better than what you understand, right? Then I say make up foundation from the air and televise their own way. Make up foundation from the air and televise their own way. Please, you do the math on that one. Then I say, if not by Christ, then what is life? You can't just live as puppet. You can't just live as puppets, because everything that everybody is doing is not unified. So all of these things are going to connect together when it comes to how people are living their lives, and they don't know Christ and how this stuff is happening to them because they don't see exactly the truth. And then I'll go to the next verse and say, just to express divergence over all of the countries. So all of this entitlement, divergence, divergency, or you could say entitlement as of proudness, ego, all of these ego that is being spread amongst people are not being able to understand and to see the difference in what they are looking at. Then I said, and mind our kids to the degree, even those from the counties. So it doesn't affect just the kids in the hoods, but also the county as well. So the things that were given to them, this opinion, this ego of not respecting people, doing doing bad is good. Like all of this thing is being televised and it's aired in their ways of pan. Because a lot of these people, they don't believe in our creator at all. They don't believe in our creator at all. Then I said in the next verse and said, seeing corruptions evident all in the major cities. So of course, major, the way I use that, like Kendrick used B minor. Yeah, I say B minor. I mean A minor. Um, my major is always a high, so it's like a altitude for me, or an amount in a higher collecting, or you could say a higher sum, or whatever that you want to use in that scenario. But seeing corruption is evident all in the major cities, all in the big cities, right? Corruption is evident, is seen, is seen everywhere. So people are feeding all of this negative BS to the kids, and these kids are digesting it, and then they feed, they become adults and they feed these things to their own kids. And it's just how I look at that, right? And I said, if it's by chance that we can dance without defying living, right? It's like it's a dream come true because everybody's partaking in the dance of this expectation of this, colonial, hierarchy, patriarchy, monarchy of this specific, you can say rhetoric world that we live in, that is just solely based off of power, influence, and money. That's what is. That's what it is. That's what it is. So if we can dance together, if we can listen to the same music, if we can do all of these things together, how can we? Why can we not define living? Why can we not narrate the perspective of what we actually know, what true fairness of life is? That's that statement right there. Then I said, considering the cost of life in exchange for what is freedom. So we know what life is. So why are we not cutting out the party, expectations of life? Why are we not cutting out the party expectations of life? We're not cutting out all of these extra stuff, because at the end of the day, letting go of this material stuff is what's going to give us our freedom. All of this extra, lifestyle this, lifestyle that. Like I use the word life exchange for what is freedom. Considering the cost of life exchange for what is freedom. Literally a lifestyle for our freedom. Letting go of all of the BS and all of the trinkets that have been holding us to um not to basically just be heavy on what is not necessary in our lives, because people are following these trends and it just doesn't make no sense. Okay, let's go on to the next one. And it says, knocking on Babylon's door, only open only to the prison. Babylon was a prestige place, open only to the people that were rich. And you see how it fell down, right? The tower was knocked down. It was brought down to its basic form, right? And I said open only to the prism. I don't really have to make any defined logic on that one for those that like conspiracy theories. Then let's move on to the next verse. It says, enslaving all our minds from the pigments to colorism. So they got us fighting each other. That's the slave mindset. Fighting each other over the things that we are already a part of. We're all one, we're unified. But we're fighting over, like I said in the previous statement, without defining living or exchange for what a lifestyle is. We're fighting over the things that we know we have to not fight about, because there's no difference being made in these circumstances to bring out any type of result or peace at all. Then the next verse says, bringing division in the sanctum of what is our temple. And like that, what it says, it brings division in our minds. And if anything you keep in your mind is going to be in your heart, the same anything you keep in your heart is going to be in your mind. And you're going to react to it, because a lot of people are not logical. So they're going to react to emotion as well. The same way there are people that are too logical and they don't react to emotions. So it can be a bad thing when we are either robots or we're too emotional. Doesn't matter if it's man or woman. And then I said, so show the love you never got and always stay on humble. Show the love you never got. Show the love you never got and always stay on humble. And that's what we're missing. A lot of people are not show love. So they're toxic. So they take their toxicity, like I said in the previous statement, not the recent previous statement, but the early previous statement when I was talking about Apple and all of this stuff, where we're being exposed to things that we shouldn't be. A lot of people are not exposed to the right or the pure aspect of love, so they don't know how to. Sometimes people want to show love, but they can't because they don't know how to, and they feel ashamed or they feel embarrassed or scared. So that's my message with that one right there, just to show the love you never got, because you're going to get that love back regardless, especially when you care about somebody so much to a point where they actually are able to understand that. They're going to give you that love back. But let's move on to the next verse. It says, because your trials, oh, my apologies, because in your trials, you're going to be up. And sometimes you're going to fumble. So you're going to mess up sometimes. You're not perfect, right? And it's called a trial. because that means you're being tested. So even if you fail, doesn't mean that you don't have another chance. You know what I mean? And then the next verse said, that is the truth. So always, that is the truth. So stay alive because we up in this jungle. That is the truth. So stay alive because we up in this jungle. So throughout this entire fight, not having the love that you feel like you deserve, you're going to, you're in this place of an arena fighting all of these lions, these animals, and all of this stuff. And I'm not talking about people, but people at the same time, but mainly those that have the power, the influence, the control, and all of these things and the resources. They're the ones that are the animals because they like to see all of these perverted things. But let's get to the chorus though. It says, are we really free? Are we really not? To really see all of our angels falling out the sky. And in definition, angels are reference to innocence, kids that have done no wrong, right? It's just the melodies harmonizing all in our minds, but can't be walking out with sticks acting like we are blind. So a lot of times, a lot of people need sticks to direct them in their direction. So a lot of people are walking with sticks, blinded, just shooting people just because they feel like they want to prove something. They feel like they want to prove something. So I said, so see all of these little kids and their innocence. The ones that are born, they don't know any better. They're just following other people's footsteps, sponging on all the negativity that's been around them. Then it says what? Never been shown what is truth or what is common sense. They were never taught good. So it's understandable for them to do certain things. But doesn't mean they can't do any better, you know? And it says they're taking to account, they're taking to account exploding to their misperception. So a lot of them, like I said, emotion. They don't know how to handle that. They don't know how to handle the pressure of, trauma, not getting the love they actually deserve, and all of this stuff. And it says the next verse, if not already, if not true, then what is the importance? And if this is not true, so what is important? If we are not important to each other, how we feel is not important to each other, and what we do is not important to each other. And I'm not going to read no other ones, just that one for now, just to show you guys how much it means to me. So I just wanted you guys to see that part. But enough of that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Because I did. So anybody that did enjoy it, let me know in the comment section. If you didn't enjoy it, still let me know in the comment section. Just be yourself. If you want to, if you really don't like it, hey, I appreciate your criticism. Understand? But yeah, I pray for good for you, all of you. Favor unto all of you and every last one of you. I want you guys to enjoy today's day that our Father made and enjoy with Him, even through your worst times, your best time and your worst times. So much love unto you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah. And if somebody said that, you already know what I'm about to say. If somebody said they don't love you today, tell them I said that I love them. And they better take my kiss because I'm going to give them another one. And to you, love you all. Thank you so much again for joining.